In 2024, Miss Universe Philippines has delivered one of the strongest batch of candidates ever. From comeback queens to new faces, they have definitely delivered when it comes to the thrill factor for pageant fans. Am I right? However, just like any real competition, we all know that only one of these queens will be going home with the title of Miss Universe Philippines 2024. So in order for all of us to start getting realistic and start accepting the reality of things, I have put together a list of 5 candidates that as of right now, I believe are the top 5 contenders for the title of Miss Universe Philippines. And let me be very clear, this is a list of women that I think are ready to win not just the national title today, but to be sent to Miss Universe and leave the name of the Philippines really, really high. So make sure to keep watching to find out who these ladies are, and don't forget to show some love to this video if you enjoy the substance of it. Drop a like, a comment, subscribe, and of course, share this video with a friend as well. So having that said, let's get into the big reveal. One thing that I would like to specify is that these candidates are in no particular order. As a matter of fact, whoever wins the title, I will be happy for them and cheer for them just as much. But as of right now, these are the ones that I believe are leading the pack. The first candidate that I wanted to highlight is none other than Adisa Manalo, one of the biggest and most exciting comeback queens of the year. It's been a very long time since Adisa competed, and I think that she's one of those queens that pageant fans were always anticipating for her comeback. Even herself, she was teasing to join Miss Universe Philippines a couple of times, but for whatever reason, she was unable to do it. Well, this time around, it was real, and I think that it's an understatement to say that Adisa must be feeling the love, because the amount of support that she has been receiving is truly outside of this world. I am sure that the pressure is on for Adisa because, of course, out of all of the delegates, she is one that really has a legacy that she needs to live up to. When you think about it, for Adisa, the only way to go is up, because if she ends as anything other than a winner, she will basically be scoring a lower ranking than when she competed at Binibining Pilipinas and Miss International. One thing that I really want to highlight about it is that she has beautifully adapted to the landscape of Miss Universe Philippines, being radically different from the previous competitions that she joined and that she thrived in. I think that Miss Universe is a radically different pageant system. And although you can tell that she has put in a lot of work to adapt, to evolve, I feel like Adisa has been able to keep her essence. Meaning that when I look at her, when I listen to her, I still see and hear the same women who competed at Binibini, at Miss International, perhaps just a newer version of herself, a woman that has been able to evolve over time. But let's not get too excited. I have said this before. In my opinion, Adisa is not the Miss Universe prototype. But we have to be fair and also acknowledge what is even the Miss Universe prototype anymore, especially in this whole new era of Miss Universe with new ownerships and the management of the organization being split all over the world. I don't think it's fair to compare Adisa to previous prototypes that realistically might not even be what the current Miss Universe organization is looking for. I have also mentioned this before. I think that performance-wise, Adisa is still being outshined by some other contenders in the competition, so I think this will be the focus for the upcoming days, not just for finals, but especially for prelims and even for challenges such as the Swimsuit Competition and all of these opportunities that she will have to showcase her growth, what she's capable of, and how she is the one to beat to obtain the title of Miss Universe Philippines. Whether you like her or not, there is one thing that you cannot deny. She is likable, she is very charming, and that is something that sets her apart from everyone else. So don't sleep on Adisa, because by the end of this competition, she might be going home with a crown. Moving on, let's talk about the next queen that I believe has what it takes to win the title of Miss Universe Philippines, and that goes, of course, to Miss Christie McGary. Another extremely exciting comeback for the Philippines, a queen that honestly, just a year ago, wouldn't have been able to join Miss Universe because of eligibility. By the previous standards of Miss Universe, Christie had already aged out, so she wouldn't have been able to join the competition. That is why I feel like this time around, Christie is truly approaching this opportunity as a blessing, as someone that was given to her, that came from the sky, and that she has to take full-heartedly. I don't think she's taking it for granted. I think that she is giving it her best, as she should. When it comes to Christie, we have to give her flowers. She is by far the most experienced queen in this entire batch. And I'm not just talking about life experience, I'm referring to her journey at Binibining Pilipinas, as well as representing the Philippines internationally twice at Miss Intercontinental. On top of that, Christie is a professional in the entertainment industry. She's a woman that has been tapping into different industries as well, so she is approaching this competition with a different vibe. She is more mature, She is more centered. I can feel like when a lot of girls might be nervous or might be a little bit shaken by the pressure, Christie still holds her core and is able to deliver every single time. It's impossible to deny that she is a stunner. She delivers in terms of the look. One of the things that really stood out for me was just her presence. When I got to see her for the very first time in person at the press presentation for Miss Universe Philippines, if you watch that video that I made, she was at the time my first pick. But again, let's pull back. Let's be honest here. One thing that I mentioned before is that Christie, at a certain point in the competition, was being outshined by other delegates. This is to be expected sometimes. It's not always the one that has the best start that remains on top every single time. And as we go deeper into the competition, you can feel that everyone is quite literally lighting a fire under their behinds. However, ever since, I think that Christie has been correcting this, putting more energy, more effort into the presentations. Recently, they had a sponsor activity with a car sponsor and her energy was just off the roof. She ended within the top 5, and this is exactly what I want to see from Christie. One of her biggest strengths, if you ask me, is that Christie is the prototype. In every single sense of the word, she embodies what Latinos and Mexicans like. Let's not forget where the next competition is going to be, Mexico. And if you do your homework and you go through the history, you will also notice that every single time the Miss Universe was held in Mexico, the Philippines was always unplaced. Well, if Christie plays the cards right, I think that she might be the woman to break that curse. What do you think? Moving on, let's give a spotlight to Miss Alexi Brooks, who is by far one of the most hyped queens of this entire batch at Miss Universe Philippines, which is quite surprising if you ask me, considering that Alexi has no pageant experience. So it's not like we have like a comeback queen or like a veteran making an appearance once again on the national stage and then all the fans are coming towards her. No, this is a girl who has absolutely no experience but somehow has managed to gain thousand upon thousand of supporters. And it kind of makes sense because Alexi represents something that Filipino pageant fans have been asking for a long time, and that is diversity. If you live in the Philippines or you have visited this country, you will notice the vast diversity of people in this country, going from different skin color, different languages, different culture, religions, hair textures, you name it. The Philippines is rich in diversity. However, we often see the same prototype being represented on national competitions and even sent internationally. Alexi represents the minority, the people who rarely get the spotlight. And yes, although she does not have pageant experience, Alexi is experienced in other areas. More precisely in sports, where she has excelled for years and she has even managed to represent the Philippines internationally. This is a woman that, although might be a rookie in the field of beauty pageants, she has already managed to bring honor and pride to her locality and to her nation. So to say that she has that discipline, that work ethic, it's definitely an understatement. For every single one of these girls, I'm trying to give them their flowers and at the same time highlight some of my concerns or the things that they need to focus on. For me, when it comes to Alexis, I hope that she is in the right mindset. Because trust me, it can be really nerve-wracking to have a lot of support because a lot of support also translates to a lot of expectation and a lot of pressure. And performing in front of thousands of people who love you, who want to see you do well, and knowing that they expect you to deliver on those aspects, it can be nerve-wracking and it can definitely take a toll on a candidate. So I hope that Alexi and her team are staying strong together, that they're bonding, that they're really addressing all of her needs, both physically and psychologically, so that she is at her best when the time for finals comes. In all scenarios, there is one thing that we cannot deny, whether you're rooting for Alexi or not. Out of all of the queens in this batch, she is the one who managed to win the heart of the people. And my question to you is, isn't that what a title holder should be able to do? To make the people feel seen, represented, supported? That is indeed the mission of a title holder. So in that sense, I think that Alexi is already a winner. Let's continue the conversation with Victoria Velasquez Vincent, one of the most unexpected comebacks in pageantry this year, although one of the most celebrated as well. I don't know about you, but personally, I was left shook when I found out that Victoria was making a comeback to Miss Universe Philippines 2024, because if you were a follower from back then as I was, you knew that she was only posting about her life in Australia, her current endeavors, and the things that she was working on. At no point there were any hints that Victoria was back in the Philippines preparing for the upcoming national competition. From the time that she competed in 2021, Victoria is one of those girls who really managed to solidify a fan base that has remained loyal to her and who felt that she deserved better in terms of the outcome of her competition. One thing that I really like this time around is that her comeback seems to be carefully crafted. We all know that Victoria is a perfectionist. We know that she is a very smart woman. So do not underestimate the amount of time, effort, and passion that has been put into this project. I know for a fact that Victoria has a killer team behind her at this time, so if the stars align for her and she's able to deliver on stage for the performance, for the Q&A, she's one of those women who might really go home with the title. Similar to Christie, Victoria is one of the delegates that brings that level of maturity, which I really appreciate considering that she is still very young. She's also very confident and her looks are quite versatile, as she can give us sometimes very commercial looks, she can give us editorial, fashion, she can be a model, you name it. The woman can do it all. To continue that trend, we have to acknowledge that Victoria's communication skills are off the roof, okay? The woman is a natural English speaker, so of course that is one of her strengths, but she's not just eloquent, she also speaks with a lot of substance, which is very important because that makes her interesting. It gives her an edge compared to other people who might just be repeating concepts and speeches that they heard on previous year's Q&A portions. Perhaps there is only one candidate on this batch that could go head-to-head with Victoria in terms of communication skills. Stay tuned for that because she's actually the last woman that I will talk about on this list. Now, when it comes to the weak spot of Victoria, from the time that she competed before at Miss Universe Philippines, a lot of people will point out about her looks, which, in fairness, has been corrected. A lot of people will point out about her relatability and her sense of belonging to the Philippines because she grew abroad. One thing that I want to bring your attention on is that Victoria has been putting a lot of effort into learning the language, learning the culture. If you go watch her videos for every single one of the online challenges that we have so far, whether it's the introduction, whether it's her story, whether it's the tourism video, Victoria makes it a point to speak Tagalog every single time. She makes it a point to talk about the history, to talk about the culture, to highlight aspects about Bacoor, and that's something that I feel like she is a lot more comfortable with right now than before when she first joined. On top of that, she is also showing a lot more personality and vulnerability, which is something that she was also criticized back then because it felt like almost she had a wall, but this time around, the wall is completely down. Listen to me, I have no doubt in my heart that if Victoria Velasquez Vincent was sent to Mexico tomorrow, she will be an excellent representative for the Philippines. Let me know in the comment section if you share the same feeling. Last but definitely not least on this list, I want to talk about Stacy Gabriel. Arguably one of the most beloved Binibini candidates of the past few years. And the fact that she was left without an international prime during her edition, it almost felt like a hate crime, if you ask me. Because out of all the top 5, let's get real, she had the best answer, right? We know that. Can we acknowledge that? Okay, thank you. Just to continue with that same energy, I am also going to say that Stacy Gabriel is one of the best speakers that Miss Universe Philippines has seen, not just on this particular batch, but since the beginning in 2020 when MUPH acquired the franchise for Miss Universe. Oh yeah, I'm going there. She's funny, she's relatable, and most importantly, she is genuine. The Stacy that you see on stage and the Stacy that you see on screen is exactly the same woman that you will meet and experience if you were to be face to face with her. In terms of her onstage presence, I am sure that she can outperform a lot of y'all's favorites. Remember, go look back to those old videos of Stacy performing at Binibini Pilipinas, the swimsuit round, the evening gown presentation. A lot of people, I think, like they overlook her and they tend to forget all of the things that this woman has already showcased on a national competition. On top of that, her advocacy with the Correctional Center for Seniors, it's one of the most transformational things that I have ever seen on this platform. So if you're thinking about Miss Universe and what they like, or at least what they're preaching, I think that Stacy kind of embodies that. And yes, I know what a lot of people will say, because even from back in the day at Binibini, one of the weak spots of Stacy, the things that people like to poke and point their fingers at, is her height. In this particular day and age, I don't think that height is something that is holding Stacy back. I don't think that it is something that she should be concerned about, especially in the day of inclusivity and celebrating women for their capacities and not just their bodies. I see no place here for a discussion about height. Case closed. Remember what I tell you every single time, go and watch my previous videos. Stacy might be short, but she is my tea. I can also say that Stacy delivers what Latino normally likes. I mean, take it from me, a literal Latino. They like sharp features and high energy performance, which I know my girl can deliver both things. So when you combine those things with the amazing communication skills, the killer advocacy, I see no reason why Stacy wouldn't be able to go back home with the crown, okay? All I'm asking is, let my girl perform and give her a microphone and trust she will be the next Miss Universe Philippines. Okay? Alright everyone, who knows? The competition is so stiff and so complex this year. One day one girl is on top and the next day she might slip and find herself at the bottom. And truthfully, with all of the changes that Miss Universe as an organization has been experiencing, it's quite difficult to predict what they're looking for, what the new prototype is, what are some of the qualities that they want to see in the candidates. So at this point, it's anyone's game. I don't know about you, but I don't know what they're looking for. So this is why my only hope for this year's edition of Miss Universe Philippines is that the organization and the judges during finals just make a decision purely based on who is going to be the best representative for the Philippines. Forget about whatever happens at Miss Universe. I want a woman who will represent the country, who will represent the people, who will make them feel seen, who will give back to society, who will give back to the sponsors of the organization, who will be a viable title holder. That should be the focus this time around. So, I don't know, I just presented to you my pros and cons for the girls that in my opinion are ready today. Now it's your turn to let me know in the comment section, who do you think that woman is? So go ahead and let me know. It is your time to speak. Thank you for watching everyone. I will see you on the next one.